And welcome to the Segmented Podcast, the show where we bring you 3 segments each episode, ranging from discussion to improv. How are you doing, Ben?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. I was actually just reading a book a second ago. Not really a book. It's as thick as a book, but it's actually a manual on how to reattach the lens to your FBI camera onto your shower.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Because mine broke the other day, and the FBI called me, and they were like, "Hey, we can't see what you're doing in the shower. Could you reinstall?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And they're like, "Sorry, we're a bit low on funds. Can you buy it too?" So I was like, "Yeah, no problem." Doing my civilian duty. So I went out and bought a new shower camera and installed it. So
Sweet.
I'm still trying to figure out the kinks. No pun intended.
I was just about to say nice pun.
Right.
But
this manual is just it's massive. So
yeah. Well, the thing is, like, with showers and shower cameras, it's very complicated because you cannot get it wrong. Because if you get it wrong, it will self-destruct. So it's important that you do everything right, which is why there's such a long manual. Yeah. Because the FBI don't mess around.
They don't. Luckily, the specific gentleman or gentlewoman, I can't disclose that, was very polite when they contacted me. So I don't mind at all, you know?
I do know. I would like to note that if you guys have been keeping up with the podcast, my animals, how they doing? Well, the main cow guy, he killed everyone. He killed all of my other animals. And he has now grown 12 times his original size and is threatening to take over the second universe as well. So he's going to take over this one and the other one. But I tried to talk to him. I haven't really gotten through to him yet, but hopefully I'll be able to ask him to, like, tone it down a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it didn't really work last time, but,
I don't think it will work any times. But
might as
maybe.
well, it's worth a shot.
It is. I'll try to get to him. If not, I might have to bring the military in here and just kill him. Just have to put him down. Which is really sad because he's been with me ever since I was a youngin', and that would be really, really upsetting.
Yeah, ever since he first learned telepathy and took over that first barn.
Yeah. Now I'm getting nostalgic. Maybe we should just move on.
Yeah, let's do that. What are the segments today?
Well, you know what? We're going to start with a great segment that we haven't done in a long time, known as Fortunately, Unfortunately. Then we're going to go to a newer segment known as New Choice. And then we're going to finish it off with a brand spanking new segment that we still don't know exactly how it's going to turn out, known as Anti-ASMR. So I guess let's jump right into the ladder that leads to Segmented Land.
Yay! Here we go.
Segment 1, Fortunately, Unfortunately. Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to tell a story together by bouncing back and forth between one of us saying fortunately, the other person saying unfortunately. So, for example, you would say, like, fortunately, the potatoes did know how to fly, and then the other person would say, unfortunately, they were blind. So you would, like, take that, and then you keep trying to build up the story, and then the other person tries to break it down, but both of you are trying to develop the story together and make it go forward. So that's the whole premise. Basically, we're going to start with a statement, and then from there, one of us will take fortunately, and the other will take unfortunately. It's pretty straightforward. So with that, where are we getting our prompts from?
I'm getting mine from SoundCloud.
Okay. What is your...
Well, here's what you need to do, Noah. All you gotta do is pick a number 1 through 5.
3.
Okay. Prompt is going to be Jug Baby.
Jug Baby. Okay. One day, there was a Jug Baby.
Fortunately, Jug Baby drank lots of jugs of milk, so he had strong bones.
Unfortunately, he was drinking too much milk, and he got milk poisoning.
Fortunately, Jug Baby was a doctor and was able to diagnose himself with milk poisoning and also discover it. And so he made lots of money from his amazing medical discovery.
Unfortunately, he was a baby, so he still didn't know how to use his money, and he spent it all on drugs and alcohol.
Fortunately, those drugs made Jug Baby very happy.
Unfortunately, it still made him very sad, and nobody loved him for who he was as a jug baby and always just wanted his drugs.
Fortunately, he gave a small portion of his money that he didn't spend on drugs to a children's milk poisoning charity that he created. So everybody thought he was such a great charitable guy, baby.
Unfortunately, he is now called Drug Baby and not Jug Baby.
Fortunately, comics were made about him, and he became an icon across the nation. Drug baby, supervillain extraordinaire.
Unfortunately, he accidentally promoted kids to do a bunch of drugs and stop drinking milk because it causes poisoning.
Fortunately, the drugs that kids were doing were actually milk-based. Because Jug Baby had a monopoly on the drug cartel at the time and made everything milk.
Unfortunately, milk poisoning has become widespread and everyone has been dying because of Drug Baby.
Fortunately, Jug Baby's older brother, Milk Thug, invented the cure to milk poisoning.
And ever since then, they lived happily ever after.
Oh, okay. Wonderful. Ended on a high note.
Milk Thug. Oh my goodness. That was such a great prompt. Okay, I have a random article from Wikipedia, and this will be used as a prompt. I'm going to give it to you, and you're going to start with, what the flip is what? Piezomagnetism. Would you like me to tell you what that is, or do you want to just make it up?
No, a piezomagnetism is the type of magnetism that attracts pies to people.
Yep, that's exactly it. Start a statement.
Yes. Piezomagnetism was the slogan for Robert Rufus's new political campaign that was about pies. He's going to be a pie... Pie-publican was his party.
Fortunately, with him starting the new Pie-publican campaign, he got many, many followers.
Unfortunately, nobody could decipher what pie-publican or pie-magnetism meant.
Fortunately, Rufus was a really good public speaker and explained it in detail at all of his rallies.
Unfortunately, he only spoke Hindu.
Fortunately, he's only marketing to Hindu people.
Unfortunately, nobody in India eats pies.
You don't know where they're from. Neither do I, honestly. Fortunately, people who are in America who speak Hindi do eat pies, and that's why he's making a whole political campaign around it.
Unfortunately, he now has many political rivals, including the singer that wrote the song My American Pie, which isn't the name of the song, but that's a lyric from the song. He is also a political rival. His name is Don McLean.
Fortunately, the Cacocrats have nothing to do with this. And everyone knows that Don McLean is a cacocrat, and he just sung about pies a long time ago.
Unfortunately, Don McLean's great-great-grandson, who takes the form of an actual literal physical cake, has a death wish on Rufus because he dropped his mother, who was a cake.
Wow, I didn't know that. Fortunately, because of Rufus's nice nature and nice persona, he said sorry for dropping your mother and gave him a free ticket to Piesville, which is a theme park he's creating for Pie-publicans.
Unfortunately, McLean Jr., the cake, gets extremely nauseous by theme park rides, and also hates theme parks because there's funnel cakes, and that's cannibalism.
Fortunately, there are no funnel cakes at Piesville because it's a pie-themed theme park. No cake allowed, except for McLean Jr., the cake.
And they all lived happily pie after.
I feel like we didn't do super well, but that's okay. It's okay.
It's a-okay. I think I realized halfway in that this was a really silly, well, not just silly. It was just a really stupid prompt.
Yeah,
Sorry.
pies of magnetism. Jug baby was a great prompt.
Jug Baby did work. Also, I'm pretty sure that's a rapper.
Jug baby.
I'm guessing, yeah, from where I got it. You know
Jug
what?
baby.
I'm gonna give him a Google.
Jug baby, an autobiography. Jug baby part 1.
Jug Baby, I think, is the name of an album.
I'm just gonna look up Jug baby, SoundCloud.
Oh yeah, the name of Coca Vango's new album is Jug Baby.
Oh.
Real appropriate for the whole family. You can tell just by the front, by the cover art.
Yes. I haven't seen it, but I will take your word for it. Jug baby. Oh, fun. Yes. Well, let's move on.
Let's go. Segment 2, new choice. So, as Noah said, this is a newer segment where we're going to tell an improvised story, but the co-host not telling the story can say new choice at any point, which makes the person telling the story change their decision on whatever the last thing is that they said.
Ooh. Spicy.
That's hot.
All right. So, do you want to start?
Yeah, I think I'm ready now.
Okay. Just got to get those vocal warm-ups in.
Yep, hold on. Okay, yeah, I'm definitely ready now.
So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to a random WikiHow article, and that will bring me...
Oh.
Okay.
WikiHow.
So, your prompt is how to stop nausea with acupuncture.
Okay, so what you're going to want to do, Mr. Gorbachev, is if you want to stop the nausea, you're going to need to use acupuncture.
New choice.
So what you're going to want to use is water.
New choice.
So what you're going to want to use is lots and lots of porcelain. So what you're going to do is first you're going to sit down. I know you're feeling nauseous, but you just have to sit down once. And what you're going to do is you're going to take this this porcelain bowl and you're going to put it over your, and you're going to take this porcelain duck, and what you're going to do is you're going to place it on top of your head, and then you're going to place it into your lap.
New choice.
And then you're going to pet it very gently.
New choice.
And then you're going to put it into your mouth.
New choice.
And then you're going to actually just smash it right on the ground. Just destroy it. We don't need that today. What we actually need is the small porcelain chicken.
New choice.
What you're going to need is the small porcelain figurine of your child that I made this morning. Yep, that's her. She's about 3 inches tall. And she's about 6 feet tall. And her likeness really is uncanny. I know in real life she's about 4 foot, but just looking through that window, I had to get the likeness just exact. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to stay sitting right there. I'm going to place this right in front of you. There she is. What I'm going to do is I'm going to place this right behind you.
New choice.
She's back. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to smash this one on the ground too. There's your daughter in pieces. You're probably mortified at this point, but that's part of what's getting rid of the nausea.
New choice.
You're probably overjoyed right now. And honestly, I couldn't blame you. Your daughter is very annoying.
New choice.
Your daughter is actually very beautiful. I feel terrible.
New choice.
Your daughter is, she's stupid. I don't think I've ever heard her say an entire word in my entire life. That's why I made her into a porcelain statue, just to give you an idea of how unintelligent I believe your daughter is. Also, her dog needs to stop leaving little bombs in my yard. Also, she needs to stop running over to my house and stealing my bread.
New choice.
She also needs to stop being alive.
New choice.
She also needs to stop running over and digging up my time capsules that I bury in my front yard.
Thing that she digs up.
She needs to stop running over to my yard and digging up my wife's remains.
And scene. I'm just surprised that you can dig up your wife's remains more than once.
I couldn't think of any. I was going to say my dog's remains, but I was like, no. That's dark. And then I can't. That's better. When did the nausea ever go away? He never. I mean, if anything, he's more nauseous at this point. Goodness gracious!
Have you made a 6-foot porcelain statue of his daughter and smashed it to pieces?
Wow. I almost felt like I was coming up with all the decisions, but I almost felt like you were the bad guy because they would always start nice, and then eventually I just turn it into something horrible. Oh no.
And this is the nature of new choice. Oh gosh. Okay. Well,
I'm gonna go to a random WikiHow article too.
I like this.
Okay. How to overcome doubt in a relationship.
Oh gosh. That's okay.
Yeah, there you go.
So, there's this one man, and he was doubting his relationship. His name was Frank, and he was in a relationship. His name was Fred.
New choice.
His name was Jimmy Bob.
New choice.
His name was Hey! And so, he was in this relationship for the longest time, although there's one point at which he thought, wait a second, am I actually in a relationship? And so he started doubting it. He was like, is this a relationship?
New choice.
What's a relationship, he thought to himself. And he said, I doubt that I'm actually in one. So he went over to his girlfriend of 18 years, and he said, and he went to his girlfriend who he's been dating for 14 seconds, and he says,
new choice.
Girlfriend, and he went over to his girlfriend that he hasn't even been dating because he thinks that this whole relationship is a sham and doesn't even exist. And he says, hey, honey. And she says, yes. And he says, is this a relationship? And she says, of course it is, darling.
New choice.
She says, heck no. What? Why? Where would you? She said, let's say yes.
New choice.
And she says, what are you talking about? And so Hay realized that he wasn't in a relationship with anyone, and this random stranger was just completely baffled. So what he decided to do was he walked home.
New choice.
He decided to walk to a stranger's house.
New choice.
And he decided to go to the dog pound and get a dog and said, dog, you are my new friend and my only friend. And the dog said, woof.
New choice.
And the dog said, wah.
New choice.
And the dog said, hey, I'm a dog, I can talk. And then Hay was all like, oh, frick, boy, I didn't realize that I got an actual talking dog. This is the best friend I'm ever going to have. And so, and this is going to be tremendously fun for a little bit, but then become very annoying. So then he takes his new dog home, and he introduces it to his roommate, Franklin. And his new roommate, Frank. And so together they are Hey and Frank. And so he brings it home and he's like, yo, Frank, here's our new dog. He says, yo, Frank. That's exactly what I said. Frank, here's the new dog. And Frank says, what are you talking about? And then the dog says, hey, he says, what? Wait, I didn't know that you were going to get a dog. And Hey says, yep, here it is. I thought I was in a relationship, and apparently it was just a stranger, so I decided to go and get it. I was really sad, so I got this dog.
New choice.
The dog can talk.
New choice.
The dog is, I think, existent. Cool. Then Frank said, that is a nice dog you got there, but I'm allergic to dogs. Didn't you know that?
New choice.
And didn't you know that I can't eat?
And scene. Wow, what a great story, Frank. Thank you, Frank. I'm just gonna go take my dog for a walk.
Segment 3, anti-ASMR. So basically, if you are unfamiliar, what stands for audio sensory meridian response, which is basically this sensation that some people get when some people whisper or like high, like really loud sounds of quiet sounds, like tapping on some things or like rustling. And some people get it from like whispering. If you've ever seen The Joy of Painting with Bob Ross, a lot of people say that his voice has a very ASMR-like quality. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to take that, which is supposed to be soothing, and make it heckin' not soothing. Just really unsoothing. Hopefully we're going to do some sort of scene. I think that's how we're going to play it out. And so we're going to do some sort of scene work. And Ben has already set up his microphone for this. So
I did. I'm ready. I'm ready for it, Noah. Are you ready?
Oh, okay. Well, I guess without further ado, let's get into some anti-ASMR.
Hello. Today we will be presiding over the case of Mr. Joe Malarkey. Joe Malarkey committed crimes against the city, and I will be acting as his defendant today.
And I am Judge Jordan.
Okay. So the first thing I'd like to bring to the stand is a pair of books that Mr. I have a pair of books that Mr. Joe Malarkey was reading before he died. So here's the books. I'm gonna just grab them real quick. Here, hold on. Actually, there's two books, and they're very unwieldy. They're hard to carry. There's two of them, and one of them is called the Bliss of Nature, and the other one is called The Calm Before the Storm. I believe both of these had to do with the murder of Mrs. Ginny Finch. That is all.
That, as I have heard, these are his handbooks on how to murder and some signs that he was left because he was the calm before the storm.
Exactly. But
Right here, I have some legal documents that are encased in plastic, and I'm gonna open them up right here.
okay. So
Here they are.
wow, those are some pretty legal documents, Mr. Judge.
They are.
Well, here I'm gonna take out some documents that I have. This is the document. This is actually a forged document that was supposed to prove that Mr. Joe Malarkey purchased these books. But I'm here to tell you that they're forged. They're not real. So I'm just gonna do this to them real quick. That's right. They're forged. They're trash.
Hold up. Wait, no, you can't get rid of evidence like that, even though it might not be real.
Whoops.
That's not. Sorry, I need to cough real quick. Now, fortunately for us, we have a copy of those documents right here.
Oh, I had no idea you had those. And they're
Well,
not ripped up.
They're not real, so we can just.
Right. I thought you couldn't destroy the evidence, though.
No, Well, I was just trying to show the people what you did and how we shouldn't do that. But I think I'm in the wrong here.
Yeah, actually, you know what? Just for you, I'm gonna move on.
Okay, thank you.
I have another piece of evidence. Joe Malarkey is accused of stabbing Mrs. Jenny Finch in the back of the head.
I actually have the knife right here.
I actually have the Jello salad that Mrs. Finch was making right before she died. So I'm just gonna give you this. This is what it's like. That's what the Jello salad smells like in my hands.
Oh, that makes sense.
And you can tell.
Now, Mr. Jones, I would like to note that I have the actual murder weapon right here, which is a retractable knife. If you can hear it.
Yes, Mr. Judge, I can hear the knife.
So how do you explain that?
Well, actually, I know that that's not, because the real actual murder weapon, which was buried underneath the body of Mrs. Jenny Finch, was actually a buzz saw. Or not a buzz saw, but a jigsaw that goes back and forth like you cut down trees. And this is what it sounds like. You can tell that that's the real murder weapon. Okay, Miss Judge, what are you doing? Judge.
That was the sound of my gavel.
Oh,
I'm saying order in the court.
okay. I'm sorry.
That was the chalkboard behind you.
Okay.
My assistant, Jordan, has been doing that
I
to
see.
shut you up.
Okay.
So,
I have one more piece of evidence.
oh, okay. Make your case.
My final piece of evidence is what appears to be a small musical instrument used by the accused. At the time that he was allegedly involved in the murder, and you can tell that it's still in very good tune. So it's not. He must have been playing it at the time of the murder. As you can tell, it's in perfect condition, which goes to show that how would he have time to do the murder if he was tuning his instrument? I rest my case.
Well, that's some good evidence, but I just got a document saying he did it. So, but it's okay because your evidence is better. I'll just... Now there's no evidence saying
Okay.
he didn't do it, so, he's off the hook for murdering Mrs. Anderson.
Awesome. Can I get a round of applause from the audience?
Yeah.
Thank you. And just to be official, I'm gonna put the stamp of not going to prison on Mr. Joe Malarkey, just to show him that he's not going to prison. It's not very sticky.
And just to show that he's not going to prison, I have his prison documents right here. I'm just gonna... Now they're torn up. There's nothing,
Thank you.
nothing to them. And just so his family doesn't have to go to prison ever again for anything, I'll just rip up his family record too. So, I think I might be breaking the law, but I didn't actually go to law school and I just snuck in here. Don't tell anyone.
That's okay. I don't think I'm actually a lawyer either. I think my name's actually Joe Malarkey, but I'm glad this worked out.
Well, I am too. Just so people won't suspect anything. I have your lawyer documents right here.
Actually, that's a funny thing. I actually have your judge documents right here with me.
So I'm just gonna... And that is how you solve a case.
Thank you.
That is the end of the show. We hope you did enjoy it. What did we learn today, Noah?
Well, we learned that Frank can't eat.
Yeah, we also learned that you shouldn't base your entire political campaign on pies, because people will probably hate you for it.
Yeah. And we also learned that if you want to get rid of nausea, just make a 6-foot statue of your daughter and smash it. Should help. Might make it worse.
We also learned that if you think you're in a relationship, you're probably not. You're probably just imagining it. You probably don't know what one is, so reevaluate that first.
Get a talking dog.
You can find Noah on Twitter at Nomich_ and Ben at Tendo. You can email the podcast at segmented.fm@gmail.com. You can also support the podcast on Patreon at patreon.com/segmentedfm. If you support us there, you can get extra goodies like talking to the hosts, mainly Noah, on live chat, and occasionally you can even listen to our podcast recording sessions live. But if not, the best way that you can support the podcast is by leaving a review on iTunes and sharing it with your friends. And with that,
The
cool
dog.
is
The
cool
dog.
that
Can
sometimes
talk.
to
Frank
who
can't.
eat. You want to know what it sounds like when I go down a ladder?
Yes.
Wow, that was fast. Did you hear each foot hit the next rung?
I did. That was a very
was like
long ladder.
64 rungs on the ladder.
Yeah, wow. It's pretty intense. Wow.
I regret nothing.
Phase 3 is 92% complete.